Welcome on the Cosmic Atom. The most perilous thing you can ever do is be completely yourself in a world obsessed with illusions. Pause on that, because someone's whole nervous system is now short-circuiting since you dare to light up without their consent. And I hate to break it to you, but things are just going to get worse for them. Here's a crazy fact. Psychologists have shown that individuals may suffer bodily symptoms such as racing hearts, sweaty palms, and unreasonable fury merely by being in the company of someone whose energy is too strong, too free, or too untouchable. You didn't have to say anything. Your very existence is an emergency for them. And in case you hadn't noticed, you've been looking a touch too fantastic, moving a bit too casually, smiling a little too easily after storms that should have taken you whole. God is not only making you gorgeous, He makes you dangerously gorgeous. People are losing their ever-loving brains. You see, this isn't about buying new clothing, getting a haircut, or accidentally taking 17 glow-up selfies last weekend. This goes deeper. This is spiritual battle tackled with beauty, tranquility, and unwavering confidence. It's attraction weaponized by divinity. And tonight, we're drawing back the curtain. I'm going to explain why your aura is making a match. Your presence rearranges rooms, but your silence causes full-fledged mental breakdowns. Also for the petty in me and the chosen one in you. Yes, we're going to enjoy every moment of it. So brace up, chosen ones, for this film will change the way you perceive your reflection and their responses forever. Number 1. Your energy contains unresolved ancestral codes that people unconsciously perceive. Most people are unaware that what makes you so dangerously handsome cannot be seen with the naked eye. It's what their soul senses the instant you walk into a room. Your energy contains codes, spiritual ancestral codes that your lineage has been working to resolve for centuries. However, no one before you had the bravery, ability, or calling to manage the situation. It's as if your DNA contains unseen messages and unfinished business. When you come around, people, particularly those associated with your past or karmic cycle, know you before their minds do. That's why you'll frequently find individuals gazing at you for too long, behaving awkwardly, overreacting to little incidents, or suddenly attempting to get closer to you for no apparent reason. Their spirit understands that you are carrying something old, disturbing, and capable of either healing or exposing them. What makes this so bizarre is that they don't consciously grasp it. They can't explain why they're attracted to you or why your presence causes them to react unexpectedly. They'll persuade themselves it's due of your appearance, personality, and confidence. But it goes deeper than that. It's the truth that you contain spiritual codes that were intended to be open long before you were born. Codes that show generational dysfunction, disclose hidden realities, and break harmful patterns. You're like a living key to a lock that most people in your family, and even some people around you, have spent their whole lives denying exists. That is why people either obsess over you or feel compelled to compete with you without justification. It is not personal. It is ancestral. Your presence disturbs the unhealed. It's as if a quiet alarm clock is blaring in their soul, compelling people to confront hidden facts. You didn't ask for this job, but you were designed for it. And the more you align with your calling, the more these ancient codes activate, making you even more dangerously beautiful in ways the world does not yet grasp. Number 2, you're a live reminder of what they have abandoned in themselves. Most individuals don't recognize that when they behave strangely around you, it's not about you. It is all about what you represent. You're a living reminder of everything they've abandoned in themselves. Every time you show up bold, real, unapologetic, and living life on your own terms, it awakens something in them that they thought was long gone. See, many individuals formed secret agreements with dread. They made peace with settling. Somewhere along the line, they abandoned their potential, crazy aspirations and daring in order to play it safe. You did not, and this makes you dangerous. When you choose to develop, when you refuse to shrink, and when you shine shamelessly after overcoming obstacles that should have destroyed you. You compel individuals to confront the aspects of themselves they have betrayed. You awaken the version of themselves that they had to suppress in order to be accepted by their family, friends, career, and community. That is why people cannot remain neutral around you. It is either adulation, jealousy, interest, or frustration. Few individuals can stand in front of someone who embodies the freedom they secretly want and not feel anything. This is why people will abruptly separate themselves, throw shade, or convert your confidence into arrogance in their minds, since it is simpler for them to blame you than confess they gave up on themselves. Every time you light up, level up, or recover stronger, it reminds them of who they might have been if they just had the confidence to heal, grow, or take a chance. And the sad thing is that you don't even intend to. You simply exist, but your presence makes their explanations seem insignificant. That is why your beauty extends beyond appearance or style. It is a spiritual thing. You represent the untamed, unedited, unstoppable version of themselves that they'll probably never be. The fact is that most people would rather despise you for it than confront themselves. Number 3, God created a spiritual insurrection. People are losing their wits around you for reasons other than the fact that you are unusual. It's because you weren't meant to fit into the systems they've spent their whole lives preserving. You were not designed to fit in, obey unstated norms, or put up with phony smiles and watered-down talks. You were designed to silently disturb everything, and whether others recognize it or not, their spirit takes up on it the moment you show there. That's why you can notice how some group dynamics change when you're around, how others suddenly get defensive or strive too hard to keep you in control. It's because they know you're not here to keep things the way they are. You are here to expose it. This does not need you to confront somebody or initiate any drama. Your entire existence presents problems, surroundings based on control, falsehoods, and unspoken power dynamics. People have become used to following unseen norms. Who is authorized to speak? Who is permitted to shine? Who gets to lead? And who is supposed to shrink? Then you stroll in, functioning under your own code, which shocks them. It jeopardizes the false feeling of order they've based their lives on. That is why some individuals will despise you immediately, even if they know nothing about you. Alternatively, people become extremely competitive, nitpicking minor details or attempting to outperform you in talks in which you are not participating. It's because your presence automatically indicates that their time for playing small, hiding behind titles, or influencing others is up. You make others realize that there is a fresh spirit in the room, one that isn't hesitant to tell the truth, move differently, and live outside of the boundaries they've been trained to paint inside. And the wild part is, you don't even need to attempt. You do not interrupt by being too loud. You achieve this by being completely aligned. That alone is rebellion in a culture addicted to pretending, and people either fall in love with it or go insane attempting to control what was never intended to be controlled. Number 4, your aura is a weaponized light frequency. People don't realize that your aura isn't this nice, peaceful, positive energy that everyone professes to want to be around. Yours is sharper. It cuts through the facade, exposing the insecure and making the performing kind very uncomfortable. It's the kind of energy that won't accept superficial relationships or useless small chat. The moment you enter a room, your energy begins to read the place, whether you want to or not. It detects hidden intentions, quiet envy, power struggles, and phony alliances. People experience this even when they are unable to express it. That's why people you've recently met either latch onto you too fast or shun you like a ghost. Your aura brings the truth to the surface. It forces individuals to confront aspects of themselves and their relationships that they have previously avoided. They suddenly find themselves unable to maintain their performance. They have been performing for years. That phony confidence, that phony friendliness, that polished people-pleasing attitude, it begins to break beneath the weight of your uncompromising honesty. You don't even need to call them out. Your mere presence is sufficient. And the issue is, you're not wandering around trying to intimidate or confront someone. You're just being in harmony, refusing to shrink or fake it for anyone's comfort. However, since so many people used relationships based on performance control and hidden motives, your presence seems like a danger to everything unstable they've created. It makes people nervous, defensive, or eager to prove themselves to you. You motivate individuals to either improve or run. There is seldom an in-between. And what's interesting is that those who avoid you aren't doing so because you've done anything wrong. It's because they realize your energy doesn't allow for the masks they've been holding to. You were sent to cause development, exposure, and realignment, and those hiding behind illusions can't manage what your presence brings. Number 5, you're the only one they can't understand. People have no concept how much their ego relies on labeling things to feel comfortable. It's how most of them go about their lives, categorizing people so they can determine how to treat them, how to react to them, and where to rank them in their own mental hierarchy. But you ruin it all up. You aren't readily characterized. You may be empathetic one minute and impose razor-sharp limits the next. You're spiritual, but you're not floating about claiming to be an untouchable, faultless light. Instead, you're genuine, raw, and occasionally rebellious. And it absolutely unsettles folks. What makes you dangerously beautiful is that you do not fit into the predictable molds that people use to feel and control. They have no idea whether you are safe, competition, a lesson, or the storm they've been trying to escape. And the ambiguity drives them insane, since most people aren't trained how to cope with problems they can't identify. Their whole existence revolves on systems, duties, and expectations. When you show up, you violate those implicit agreements without even trying. That's why others sometimes appear perplexed by you, or you'll notice them studying you like a riddle they can't solve. They will test you, beat you, and attempt to elicit a response in order to determine which category to place you in and what to do if you do not respond as expected. It makes them nervous because if they can't define you, they can't control you. And since they can't control you, they can't anticipate how their own fears would manifest in your presence. You frighten people not because you are as deadly as they claim, but because you remind them that there is another way to live, one that is not predicated on acceptance labels or playing small. And for someone who is still trapped within a box, that type of independence is both enticing and frustrating. Number 6, your physical radiance is a result of inner harmony. People are so focused on looks that when they see you shining differently, appearing healthier, or moving with a new ease, they believe it's a physical change. They'll look for anything surface level to explain it, whether it's a new skincare regimen, weight reduction, or a new relationship. Since most people are unaware that what they're experiencing is spiritual harmony seeping through into the physical. Your radiance is not a result of cosmetic procedures. It is a side consequence of your soul entering divine order, whether they can describe it or not. Everyone around you senses it. Your skin seems clearer, not because of the items, but because your stress level decreased when you stopped entertaining pandemonium and false people. Your eyes are brighter now that you've regained portions of your soul that you'd previously lost while attempting to impress worthless people. Your energy seems lighter now that you've let go of bitterness, guilt, and all the quiet conflicts you were waging alone. And now that inside alteration is spreading through your body in ways that cannot be purchased, faked, or replicated. Its danger stems from how unsettling it is for individuals who continue to live in disarray. People who thrive in disorder are constantly disturbed by people who have found peace with themselves. Your quiet is insulting to others who need commotion to feel alive. Your pleasure bothers individuals who are prone to self-pity. Your light seems to be frightening to those who continue to hide in the dark recesses of their own psyche. And since they can't accept that what they're actually responding to is your inner completeness, they focus on the outside. You have changed. Do you believe you are better now? No, you're just in harmony. And it demonstrates that you are genuinely radiating spiritual power via your look, not in a loud, flashy manner, but in a subtle, unmistakable way that prompts others to ask what is wrong with their own reflection. Deep down, they realize it's nothing to do with your moisturizer. It's your vitality, your tranquility, your healed wounds, and your restored strength. For those still living in spiritual disarray, that type of radiance seems like an assault. Number 7, you are unapologetic in a world programmed by permission. Most individuals have been taught, trained, and conditioned to wait for permission before showing up, whether from their parents, friends, community, work, or spouse. Someone must give them permission to accept their brilliance before they may feel secure doing so. And if it is never given, they shrink, they settle. They told themselves it was humility, but it was really fear disguised as socially acceptable conduct. But you've never asked for permission. You simply began moving as if you belonged here, as if your voice mattered, like your existence was a reality, not a favor. And that alone makes you dangerously appealing in a society where most people have no idea how imprisoned they are. You enter spaces and claim them without explanation. You shine without apologies. You achieve without trying to make insecure people feel comfortable. You tell the truth without first asking whether it is acceptable. And when someone moves like that, people don't know how to respond. It either stimulates the part of them that secretly desires that type of freedom, or it awakens the part of them that has spent years teaching themselves that it is safer to play small. There is seldom a middle ground. This is why others either adore you compulsively or want to take you apart, since someone moving with unabashed enthusiasm indicates a level of self-ownership that most have never experienced. It reminds them that the prison they are in is not locked. And that's a terrible discovery if you spent your whole life blaming others for your modest size. The odd aspect is that you're not even attempting to prove anything. You've just finished negotiating your value, talents, and the right to be precisely who you are. You quit seeking for permission papers and are now living in a manner that turns heads and exposes everyone who is still waiting for the world to cheer for them before stepping into their full potential. And for many people, this is either fascinating or frustrating. Number 8, you awaken repressed passions that people buried to live. Most individuals refuse to recognize that in order to live in this world, in their homes, communities, and relationships, they have to bury pieces of themselves. The wildness that compelled them to speak out, the boldness that told them they deserved better. They were embarrassed for their sensuality. The truth teller inside them made others uncomfortable. They gradually eliminated the elements of themselves that endangered approbation. They had been conditioned to need, and now you arrive unabashedly living. In certain locations, people were obliged to remain silent. It ruins them. Your presence is appealing not just because of your appearance or what you say. It's because you unintentionally trigger bits of someone they believed were long dead. That spark of courage, that uncontrolled energy that whispering voice in their brain? What if you didn't care what others thought? When you're present, everything comes back to mind. And since most individuals are unprepared to handle those aspects, they blame the person who made them feel them. They'll label you too much, too intense, or too different, because it's simpler to blame you for their discomfort than to recognize that you've awoken a reality they've been repressing for years. It's not your fault you didn't show there with the aim of disclosing anyone's secret, regrets, or unfulfilled potential. Your energy simply strikes like that. It brings back to life what individuals had buried in order to live. And surviving is not synonymous with living. That's why you'll see people attracted to you, then back away, admiring you from a distance while privately resenting how much you remind them of who they used to be. Or worse, who they were frightened to be. You didn't ask for that job, but you have it. And whether they confess it or not, your presence forces them to confront the difficult reality. Parts of them are not dead, but rather inactive. And you're the one who wakes them awake. Number 9. You maintain an unbreakable tension between light and darkness. You are not the ordinary person who feels compelled to choose between light and darkness. Most individuals spend their life attempting to fit into one category, either appearing to be all wonderful and pure or plunging headlong into chaos, embracing recklessness to demonstrate their freedom. But you carry both with uncommon elegance, mixing them in a manner that perplexes, captivates, and pulls others in. You've made peace with both your higher self and your darkness, and in that state, you emit a deadly sort of beauty. It's not the sort of appeal that can be categorized since it defies any easy name. People attempt to stay with you. Your energy exudes sanctity. It is not one of artificial virtue or sweetness. It is a purity achieved through hardship, through real-life experiences, and by accepting your shortcomings and the darkness that exists inside you. It is not anything to be embarrassed about. It is not a reason to harm people or succumb to anarchy. It's the ability to be authentic, the capacity to stand in your own complexity without having to conceal any aspect of yourself. It's the raw, untamed energy that comes from confronting your demons, errors, and shadows while remaining strong. This is why you're dangerously handsome. People sense the tug between light and darkness inside you, even if they cannot properly express it. It has a magnetic quality while yet being frightening. They are attracted to you because your energy vibrates in a manner that reminds them of their own untapped potential, the bits they've either overlooked or avoided. You don't merely shine with light or fade into the darkness. You stroll through both balanced and unapologetic, and the tension is seductive. It's like attempting to look away from a flame while standing too near. Number 10, you symbolize power. Most individuals spend their lives giving up parts of themselves to external pressures. They give up their authority to relationships, unfulfilling careers, and cultural conventions that dictate who they should be. They follow trends without asking why. It's as if they're continuously providing portions of themselves in order to make others comfortable, remain acceptable, and fit in. But you're walking in the other direction. You are not out here giving your authority away to anything or anybody. You've reclaimed every fractured piece of yourself that you previously abandoned or allowed slip away to satisfy others. And you now own them. You walk with an unashamed sense of ownership, as if you don't need permission to exist completely. And that's terrifyingly magnetic. The actual threat to others comes from forcing them to face something they've spent their whole lives dodging. You make them understand how much of themselves they've given up in return for temporary affirmation, how little control they truly have, and how much they've sacrificed for security, comfort, or acceptance. In a society where individuals are anxious to please others and fit into roles that aren't even theirs, Your unshakable self-ownership serves as a stark reminder of what they've sacrificed along the way. And to be honest, most people find this unpleasant because it pushes them to consider what it would be like if they possessed everything. It's unsettling to discover that the majority of people live in pieces, pretending to be someone they're not in order to fit in. But you aren't playing that game. You are a real example of what occurs when someone stops seeking for value outside of themselves and begins to claim it from within. You walk like someone who isn't frightened to be entire or to retain and maintain their authority. And that honesty is the kind of energy that people cannot ignore. They either pull toward it or flee from it, because being in the company of someone who has completely reclaimed themselves may either fuel their desire to do the same or reveal how far they've strayed from their own truth. Number 11, your glow wasn't purchased. It survived. What people can't stop thinking about isn't simply how you appear today. It's the fact that they understand deep down that your radiance was not purchased or given to you. It wasn't a fast remedy, a popular beauty trick, or a stroke of luck. Your radiance is the consequence of surviving something most people can't imagine: bloodshed, betrayal, loneliness, and the kinds of soul-shaking difficulties that either destroy or shape individuals into something stronger. And unlike many others, you emerged not just undamaged, but stronger. That kind of earned change does not result from a cosmetic treatment or a miracle. It is erected in the fire. It is developed in times when you must confront the worst aspects of yourself and the world around you and choose to rise. People perceive it. They sense that your light emanates from a deeper place. It humbles people who are really honest with themselves because they realize that you have gone through something they would never take lightly. You didn't simply decide to shine. You had to fight your way out of the darkness, rebuild yourself from the ground up, and return as someone who earned every ounce of power, strength, and beauty you possess. That type of power cannot be faked or imitated. It has an unmatched frequency and humbles those who genuinely grasp what it takes to conquer. On the other hand, it disturbs the pretenders, those who only shine because of filters, facades, or borrowed ideas. Your brightness makes people wonder whether their sparkle is genuine or if they're just hiding behind illusions. And that is why your radiance irritates others, because it's more than just skin deep. It's an aura created by overcoming life's most difficult challenges, a radiance that no one can take or fabricate. The rest of the world cannot help but notice. Number 12, you are a disruptor of comfy narratives. There's something disconcerting about how people attempt to keep you prisoner to their outdated narrative about who you were. They take comfort in the version of you they've created, the one that matches their story, their idea of who you should be. They believe they know your limitations, shortcomings, and previous errors, and they rely on these outdated versions of you as a crutch. However, your progress, the way you've evolved, transformed, and embraced your own power, always calls those tales into question. It invalidates everything they thought they knew about you, which is quite unsettling for individuals who have formed their whole vision of reality around the notion that they have you figured out. The most difficult thing for some individuals to grasp is that they no longer have control over the story they have made for you. Your progress causes them to confront the unpleasant fact that their perception of who you were is obsolete. You're no longer the person they classified, predicted, or believed they could manage. Many people find this more than merely unpleasant. It threatens their whole sense of security and identity. When you present yourself as someone altogether different, stronger, and more real than the person they previously knew, they are forced to face their own limits, stagnation, and the possibility that they may never be as daring or free as you have been. Some people cannot handle it. They'd rather hinder your advancement than admit that your evolution has upended their delicate, cozy story. It's simpler for them to spread rumors or undermine you than it is to accept that you're no longer who they thought you were. You have become a disruptor, and that's a scary thing for anybody who believes the past is their reality. Your development is not simply personal. It challenges their whole worldview, and not everyone is ready to let go of the old myths they've been telling themselves. Number 13, your essay is provocative. Your piece is not something that just occurs to you. It is something you have perfected. It's not the kind of serenity that comes from avoiding conflict or pretending nothing bothers you. It's the peace that comes with knowing who you are and what you're capable of. When the world attempts to draw you into petty gossip, exclusion, or planned assaults, you stay unmoved, unimpressed, and unconcerned. And it is more powerful than any emotion you might have. Most individuals live in perpetual response mode, fighting every conflict, reacting to every insult, and becoming engrossed in every drama. It's taxing and makes people vulnerable. But you stand in your peace, which confuses them too. The insecurity, your unwavering calm, seems like a direct challenge. They don't comprehend how you can maintain your composure while everything around you is chaotic. It's as if they want you to respond in the same way everyone else does, to be startled and engaged. But you don't. And this alone conveys a more disruptive message than any argument or response. Your writing is provocative, especially for those who live in chaos. It serves as a reminder that power is more than just noise and show. It's about control and inner power, and understanding that you do not need to prove anything. The fact is that by not responding to every jab, passive-aggressive statement, or effort to drag you into a disaster, you are quietly announcing your control over the issue. You've managed your emotions, energy, and reaction, and genuine calm is more scary than any act of hostility. It's a proclamation that you know your own value and don't need anybody else's approval or disturbance to define it. For the insecure, it is a conflict they will lose before it even starts. Number 14, your destiny speaks louder than you do. What makes you dangerously gorgeous is more than simply the energy you exude when you enter a place. It's what occurs when you are not present. People continue to speak about you, think about you, and feel the affects of your presence long after you have departed. Conversations, ideas, and fantasies. They revolve around you whether you're physically there or not. This is what sets you apart from the others. Your destiny speaks louder than you do. The ripple you create is not related to what you said or did at a certain moment, but to the awakening you symbolize in others. People are attracted to your potential, the future you are building, and the power you exude without even trying. Your destiny has a gravitational pull that may completely alter people's perspectives on life, and it occurs before you even arrive. It's as if you've already paved the way for yourself, and everyone around you is subconsciously aware that they've seen the beginning of something significant. They aren't fascinated with you. They are preoccupied with what you represent. The idea of something greater, something larger, something that unlocks their own latent potential. The most interesting portion. Most people aren't sure why they're attracted to you. They have a feeling that you are meant for something, but they can't put their finger on it. They just sense a change in the air when you are present. Like the fundamental fabric of their existence is being agitated. It is an indication that someone is following their genuine calling. It is the mark of someone whose life is so inextricably linked to their goal that the power of their destiny precedes them. People's minds and emotions are stirred long before they say anything. Your appeal is not based on superficial charm or physical characteristics. It's in the destiny you're creating. When people perceive it, they are attracted into its energy, even if they don't completely comprehend it. And that my friend, is the full strength of perilous allure. In the end, you are dangerous. Attractiveness is not easy to describe or imitate. It is not based on superficiality or passing trends in the world. It's a magnetic energy that stems from perseverance, sincerity, and a strong connection to something bigger than you. You represent a force that challenges the very foundation of what people perceive to be true about themselves and the world. Your aura, presence, and very being hinder the progress of mundane forces while igniting the fire of potential inside others. However, make no mistake, this is not a power that everyone can manage. Some will try to identify it, some will try to minimize it, and some will even want to destroy it. However, the more others attempt to define or confine you, the more your essence grows. Radiating out of their grasp, you're not a fleeting fascination. You are a natural power, embodying something ageless and unstoppable. The world may attempt to hold you back, but your destiny will never be muted and your light will never fade. What makes you genuinely dangerously appealing is your uninhibited self-expression. Walk in your power to upend the status quo and awaken something in others that they were previously unaware of. You don't need anyone's approval since the universe has already conspired to your advantage. As you mature, your destiny unfolds. The world will be enthralled and captivated by the irresistible force that is you. And no matter how they attempt to name you, you will always be something much larger than what they can comprehend or control. You're not just gorgeous. You are a real, breathing revolution, and the world will be forever changed as a result. If you sense the power in these words, and you're ready to embrace your own deadly beauty and take control of your life, don't miss out on what's next. Click the subscribe button to remain tuned for more of these profound, revolutionary ideas that will help you evolve into the greatest version of yourself. If you enjoyed this video, and let us know in the comments how you're embracing your own power and unique path. I'd love to hear from you because your story is important and deserves to be heard. And don't forget to share this video with everyone who needs to hear it, since we're all about raising one another up and awakening our inner power. Keep glowing. Continue developing. Remember, the world is waiting for your light. Until next time, dear viewers, your support through Super Chat and membership is the only source of income that keeps this channel running. If you want me to continue uploading valuable content without delays and to stay motivated in providing you with the best wisdom, I need your help. Every contribution, big or small, makes a huge difference. Feel free to donate and support Pure Wisdom so we can keep growing together. Your generosity keeps this journey alive. Thank you for being part of this amazing community. If you're enjoying the content on Pure Wisdom and find value in the messages we share, I encourage you to subscribe. Based on the latest analytics, 93.9% of viewers are watching without subscribing. By subscribing, you not only stay updated with new content, but also support the channel's growth, allowing us to continue spreading wisdom for the chosen ones. Hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you never miss an important message. Let's build this community together.